On Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We'll talk Cougar tennis, Cougar softball, Cougar baseball. We'll talk about that. Also some traffic advisories for you. And what will the weather do today? That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beej. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
You mentioned you needed to water today. You needed to water yesterday, but you didn't, and you should water today.
The back porch.
Oh, okay. So, but the garden's okay?
I'm mad at the moles, but
Okay.
I mean, I've already looked at the forecast.
And you're feeling good about it?
I'm going to get out there in a few minutes and plant a couple rows of green beans.
Probably wouldn't be a very bad idea.
Which I should have done yesterday, but you know.
We'll cover the weather more in depth here in a moment. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley. And the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Tell you the allergies. There's nothing quite like getting your allergies going than going to a softball game or something. All that dirt rolling up in the air, and then at Grayson County High School, you got the the cow pasture back there too. So it's a double whammy.
Yeah, 'tis the season. Leave anything sitting still for just a few minutes, and it ends up with a coating of pollen on it, and that stuff kind of hard to get off. It takes a pressure washer to do a very good job with it. But you were out and about yesterday. I did finally was able to get some photos of the birthday party on Sunday sent over to share with you. And there's the birthday girl opening her gifts on Sunday, and then there are the mamas. There's Mama Carla and Mama Christy with Alea and the big 9 and the big purple photo wall. Mm-hmm. So we got that with the birthday cake. There she is, all smiles, getting ready for her candles to be ignited.
Yes.
She struggled with blowing them out just a little bit. She had trouble getting going. Mm-hmm. She had trouble getting going, and then she just kind of knocked it out.
Yes.
And she got it. And then so there's the one here's the one I took this photograph.
Love that one.
This is Alea and Gertie on Gertie's dog bed, and that was after the party in the evening. That was during our birding period.
It was.
We spent a lot of time on Sunday evening. Didn't she look so proud of herself sitting there in that bed?
Gertie kind of has the look of, what's she doing here? Isn't this my bed?
Crowded out of my own.
Gertie definitely prefers Alea over Brady, so Gertie allows that.
Yeah, well, for now, because Alea's the one that will play with Gertie, so that's good. Are you surprised how much time we're spending birding?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
She is very. I don't know how to describe her. If we are into something, she loves that nature journal, and I've had that nature journal since Anna was small, and it was never utilized. So when I dragged that out one day, she had a project at school for leaves or something, I'm not sure, and it kind of laid around on the back porch. Well, then you have that app, and then Papa Tommy is really into birds,
right.
And so I'm not surprised because she is surrounded by people that once you lock in on something, whether it's plants or birds, she is more apt to do that with you and become interested. And she does love to learn, but she likes to do it on her own terms. She doesn't want to sit in the seat of school and learn about birds.
Right.
But you give her an app and a journal, and she's ready to go. I don't know how to describe her. She's very...
Sounds very familiar. It sounds like both her mamas. They would rather be out doing and hands-on. So that's... and it's sort of fun. I have an app on my phone that listens to all the birds. and will tell you what species they are, and you can document what date that you saw them, etc. But in her journal, she was writing down all the various birds that she was hearing. And I was showing her pictures of, I have never shared these with you, Sam, and I'll try to. I shared pictures of a barred owl that we have around our house. And I was showing Alea those pictures, and just a few minutes later, the barred owl made himself or herself known. And Alea's eyes just got big as saucers, like that's the owl we were just talking about. So,
Did you ask him how many licks come to the middle of a Tootsie Pop?
I've already asked him and told him I know the answer to that, but you
3,
have to
right?
ask for yourself if you want to know the answer. Hey, weather-wise, we're our friends, our partners at Wave are talking about a severe, an alert day today, and that is fair. But I just do want you to, and I even saw a kind of a different map than that from WLKY this morning. We're listed in the slight category, is kind of where we're being ranked, at least what I saw earlier. I think the closer you are to Churchill Downs and Louisville, I think the greater likelihood there will be of storms today. But it is possible. Well, it's already windy this morning, so the weather is dynamic. And it will primarily be after 2 o'clock today. So it will be early to mid-afternoon and then through the evening. So we'll see an 80% chance of rain today, a high of 82. We'll see some storms tonight, a 60% chance overnight, a low of 63. And then continuing chance for some storms tomorrow, a 70% chance, and a high of 80 is what you have to look forward to. And then our highs will be in the 80s until Friday, and then we'll top out about 76. And Derby Day looking just a little maybe below average at 64 degrees for our high. And then dipping back down into the upper 40s for Saturday night and Sunday night. So anyway, just be prepared. Just pay attention today. Our friends at Wave are... it's an important week in Louisville, and so they really dig in on weather coverage this time of year because it's such a big weekend between Thurby and then Oaks Day, and then so I have a tendency to believe that their coverage and focus shifts more specifically to Jefferson County this week when they're trying to advise people on how to prepare for the weather. That's at least my supposition, and rightly so. We did get an update yesterday from Chris Jesse with the Transportation Cabinet and gave us a list of multiple locations here in Grayson County where road work is going to take place over the next several weeks. He said that preparation work for asphalt resurfacing projects is underway along multiple routes in Grayson County. The base failures, they will be working on the base failures on these roadways. Kentucky 187, well, you might know as Shrewsbury Road. Kentucky 889, which is Rocky Hill Estates Road. 631, which is Concord Road. And 479, which is Wax Road. As the repairs are finished, the asphalt surface is going to be laid. They're doing some patching work on Hopewell Road. And so just be aware of that. And then, of course, we have multiple corridors locally. 62 between Litchfield and the Y, Litchfield proper and the Y are underway. That's congested through there. They did get that guardrail replaced yesterday, so the road was reopened again by afternoon. And also they're going to be working on a new roundabout project where the byway meets 62 on the east side of Litchfield. And then if you're traveling Highway 54, then the termination of the byway extension is being worked on in that area as it works back over toward the extension office and connecting with US 62 on the west side of Litchfield. So lots of machinery, lots of moving parts, lots of people at work this season. And those projects that I was telling you about from Chris, those specific resurfacing projects are expected to be completed by the end of May. So basically by the time we get to Memorial Day. There was a fire at the Blue Oval SK Battery Park in Glendale on Sunday. The Glendale Fire Department responded to the fire about 5 o'clock Sunday evening. The blaze was contained to an unmanned exterior building and was quickly brought under control. The plant's operations were not impacted. No injuries were reported, but the fire, how it began, remains under investigation. It's interesting. Glendale, most likely, Glendale, historically, the fire department has been teeny tiny. And now you splash a blue oval plant down in the middle of that, and it makes you wonder what preparations they've had to make in order to be prepared. They obviously have E-Town that's nearby and then can serve as a backup, but just shows you all of the growing pains of when something like that happens. The infrastructure all around it has to be evolved as well. And then I read a note from Shay McAllister this morning that says the first trial in the Crystal Rogers case gets underway in Bowling Green 4 weeks from today. So 4 weeks from today, the Crystal Rogers case is the first trial. One of those men, I've kind of lost track of that as it after that entered the legal system and they started the maneuvering and who and where and relocation, et cetera. But that will be happening in Warren County. I guess there's a chance people we know could be potential jurors. I saw a really neat headline coming out of Mammoth Cave. It's a story about, several people, but in particular a Paul Shabangu. And it's the first time that he visited Mammoth Cave National Park, he became a United States citizen. They had a naturalization ceremony within Mammoth Cave on April the 24th, and 29 people from 12 different countries went down into the cave for the ceremony, and they emerged as United States citizens. He was originally from the Congo. He's lived in the U.S. for about 6 years, and very emotional, talking about how he loved the country, his new country, et cetera. And anyway, it's a story that you can read from the Associated Press that I think sometimes we have a tendency to maybe overlook Mammoth Cave just a little bit because it's so nearby. We drive through and go, oh, it's over there by the cave. But for new Americans, one of the 7 wonders of the world, I guess, or the 8 wonders of the world, or whatever it might be, it's a big deal. The city of Murray has been named the 4th best small college town in America, according to the USA Today. In its latest 10 best series, Murray was the only Kentucky city making the top 10. It was recognized as the 4th best small college town in America. 50,000 or less. That's what makes you qualify as a small college town. So keep that in mind. The Derby 151 is a little bit closer. All of us as Kentuckians will say, what time does the Derby run on Saturday? The post time is 5:57 Central Time. So just before 6 o'clock Central Time is the post time. The forecast, as we told you, is looking pretty nice. For Louisville, it says maybe around 68. I think our friends at Wave have it listed as 64, but sunny skies, so it's going to be nice at Churchill Downs and across the Bluegrass. On Friday, Oaks Day coverage. This is a little bit misleading because when you read a story from the Associated Press, they're approaching it nationally where they're saying, well, if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, and you want to watch Oaks Day, then you can do that on the USA Network from like 1 to 6. But if you are in Kentucky, just turn on one of your Louisville television stations, and they've got coverage of the Oaks, but in particular, of Oaks Day coverage. But in particular, if you want to watch the races, I think our friends at Wave have most of those. I do think that they are embargoed. I think they're not allowed because of TVG. I don't think they're allowed to show those races live, but they show them on like a 10-minute delay. So if you can spare 10 minutes, you can watch local coverage that way. If you've got a Peacock subscription, you can watch there on Derby Day. Coverage begins at 11 o'clock a.m. on the USA Network and on Peacock. Then NBC picks up at 1:30 Central Time. So, I mean, that's a long day of coverage from 1:30. The NBC just keeps growing and growing, and it's probably, outside of the Olympics, it may be to me, the pageantry of it and the complexity of it is bigger than a golf tournament that they might be doing. And you do it once a year rather than once every few weeks. So it is a spectacle.
Yeah, Super Bowl's probably only the thing, but they get that once every 4 years like the Olympics.
Yeah, and I guess you could say the same thing about the track, but you never quite know where the storylines are on Derby Day, and then the weather plays an element, and it's just the people, the pageantry, the hat. It's patriotic, but yet it's sports, it's wagering, it's just a completely odd bird, and it is if you're ever proud to be a Kentuckian, it should be on Derby Day when the world is watching what's so great about Kentucky. Journalism, still the morning line favorite at 3-1. Sovereignty is the second choice at 5-1. It's the Florida Derby winner. The third choice was Sandman at 6-1 odds, won the Arkansas Derby. Keep an eye on Bob Baffert. He's a 6-time winner. He's back after a 3-year suspension. In case you like celebrity connections, Toby Keith, the late singer Toby Keith, he's got a horse. His Dream Walking Farms is part of an owner of the long shot Render Judgment. Jason Worth from the Philadelphia Phillies, well, formerly with the Phillies. His stable is 2-8 Racing, and that's his old jersey number. He's got Flying Mohawk. Grace Potter is singing the national anthem on Derby Day. Simone Biles is doing the Riders Up, and the purse $5 million. The first place goes to, it's like 1.3, but the entire purse $5.5 million. Spring sports busy yesterday afternoon. Before we talk about softball, because Sam had a front row seat for that as the Lady Wildcats came to town. If you go out to Don Lee Field today, were they at home yesterday or were they on the road?
No, they were on the road because we're at home today.
They were on the road. So 15 strikeouts recorded yesterday?
Yeah, Gage Napier, complete game shutout, allowed 3 hits and struck out 15 Butler County batters. So Gage, now in the last 2 weeks against Edmondson and Butler, I think has combined for 94 strikeouts in 12 innings, or in 14 innings, which I don't think is possible. But if you ask Edmondson and Butler, that's what it feels like. Gage has been on fire on the mound and helped the Cougars clinch the number 1 seed in the district tournament already. And they are scheduled to play this afternoon. I don't know. I'm just hoping it's not one of those that we get there, we set up, and then all of a sudden Mother Nature decides, yeah, no, you're not playing. Because I think that's the kind of weather that we're going to be getting today, where if they cancel it, it's not going to rain. If we play, it's probably going to rain.
I think you play, Sam. I think you're playing today, so you can be confident. How was your trip to the softball field last night?
It was
dusty.
Yeah, it was dusty. It was a heck of a game. Wow. On both sides, Grayson was up 1-0. Edmondson tied at 1-1. And then we headed into the 6th, and the offense woke up as Edmondson scored 4 runs in the 6th. Grayson scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th to make it 4-3. Edmondson added a couple of insurance runs, 6-3, and then in the bottom of the 7th, 2 runners on, 2 strikes. Peyton Bowman hits a 3-run home run to tie the game, force extras. And then in the 9th, Edmondson County, her name was Emma Price, I believe. She hit her 2nd home run of the game, a grand slam in the top of the 9th. That made it 10-6, and then Peyton Bowman hit another home run in the bottom of the 9th, but the Lady Cougar comeback fell short, so they lost 10-7 in 9 innings. So it was a wild night at Grayson County High School.
Yeah, sounds exciting. Cougar tennis on the road yesterday. Boys defeated Meade County 5-0. They're now 15-2, 11-1 in the region. They will host Owensboro High School today at Cougar Courts. Let's hope it stays dry enough, or they've got plenty of squeegees today. The Lady Cougars defeated Meade County 3-2. They're now 12-5 on the season. They also are hosting Owensboro High School this afternoon behind the Grayson County Middle School on the Cougar Courts. The Reds won yesterday, 6 innings pitched by Martinez, and got 3-1 for their 5th straight win. They will continue to play the Cardinals this afternoon. Rob Manfred says a decision on Pete Rose's lifetime ban, well, his lifetime is over, his ban for Major League Baseball is to be considered or to be decided in the coming days. Did they put him in?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine.
I think they do, but something in me says if they know how, like, the family somehow should just say no thanks. You know, it's like if you just were waiting for him to die, then if he was not good enough to do it in life, he's not good enough to be in death. But that probably won't happen. So President Trump, he talked to President Trump about it, but he won't say what Trump said. I think Trump has said before, let him in. So yeah, I don't know what will happen. We'll find out. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some funny tweets, some ways you're missing out on cashing in, and we'll have a bride being bullied Coming up here on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604, GraysonCPAs.com.
Every great team has a leader, someone who inspires their teammates to be their best. Every child deserves that same encouragement and support, but many boys navigating the family court system do it alone, without a role model to help guide them. As a CASA volunteer, you're more than just an advocate for a child. You're a coach, a friend, a voice they can count on. You'll stand up for them in court, cheer them on in life, and help them believe in their own potential. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to show up, listen, and fight for their future. Now is your chance to step up. Join the team. Volunteer with CASA today.
Will you be the light for a child in need? Become a CASA volunteer with CASA of the Heartland. Call our office at 270-982-2274 or visit our website, casaheartland.org, to learn how you can change a child's story.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable.
ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start May 11th.
Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Smith Overhead Door is redefining entryways in Litchfield, where every click of the remote promises reliability. It's not just about opening doors, it's about lasting assurance. We offer a service that inspects each part, making sure your door system thrives. With our service agreement with inspections up to 4 times a year, we spot the signs of wear before they whisper a problem, saving you more than just peace of mind. Opt for a 2-year plan and the savings rise. Make sure you get out the door with Smith Overhead Door at sohd.info. We're not just opening doors, we're opening possibilities.
Apple is looking to India as its main manufacturing location for U.S. iPhones by the end of this year. The move began during the pandemic when Apple's Chinese plants shut down. But with the tariffs and continuing tensions between the U.S. and China, that move is speeding up. Apple expects to double its output from India to 80 million units next year. Online chess platform Chess.com boasts more than 200 million members. The company says that more than 1.5 million are paying users. There are more than 20 million games of chess played on the platform every day. Chess, as did many games, began to rise in popularity during the pandemic, and company officials say interest in chess has continued to grow. And Intel is laying off workers and demanding that remaining workers return to the office. In a memo sent to employees, new CEO Lip-Bu Tan says there will be more time in the office, less administration, and leaner teams. The crackdown comes after Intel reported flat revenue and its stock fell. It is also following a trend in tech of doing more with less. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds of MC Rawface and DJ Easy Rock.
Today is International Dance Day. It's National Shrimp Scampi Day. And it is Zipper Day. Without the old zipper, we'd all just be button flyers.
Yeah, That's a lot of work.
That's what we're celebrating today. Funny tweets. Forager says, her name's Jeannie. She says, every airport should have a terminal for people who have apparently never flown before and don't know what's happening, and then another terminal for normal, well-prepared people.
I'm sure you're on board with this.
Yes, I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be, yeah.
TSA Pre does a pretty good job of sorting that out.
I guess it's like we've discussed, though. If everybody has it, then it turns into, but anyway, we've had this conversation.
Sure.
So.
I just think it's an indicator of frequency of travel, so that means you are probably going to test higher. I also have long held that we need a similar system of roadways.
Yes, you have.
A system of roadways for everyone who wants to drive faster than me, a set for everyone that wants to drive slower than me, and then just a set for me.
Yeah, so you just want your own lane.
Yeah, that's
Not too much to ask, is it?
Just
And
just
then
call
Dad Joke
just call
says-
Judge Henderson right now. I'm sure he could make that happen right now, right? Doesn't he have that power?
Without a doubt. Dad Says Joke says, incorrectly is the only word that when spelled correctly is still spelled incorrectly.
What?
No.
Say that again.
Incorrectly is the only word that when spelled correctly is still spelled incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
That's true. And by the way, Sam, they say you sound like an owl.
Do they?
So yesterday.
Yeah. Nice try.
Yesterday, Alea and I were listening to the Rick Burgess show on the way to school, and so that was that dad joke that Adler was trying to pull on everyone. He got everyone except Rick. I regretted, though, that Alea was listening because then she was in on the joke.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. Sam didn't fall for it. Very good, Samuel.
Yeah, I'm too good for that.
Yes, just paying too close attention. If you are like us, you probably have a box of old technology sitting around various places. Might be game consoles, might be phones, might be iPods, might be no
something tells
matter
me
what you might have.
your box is probably a little bit more extensive than the average person, though.
It is, especially when you...
A box would not contain...
Just the amount of technology. I mean,
is it a room?
Well, box would be an understatement. We have one now here. Sam, this one's dead, by the way, so I don't know if we had a casualty here in the studio. You may be thinking about
one of them
upgrading
finally decided.
Yeah,
to...
finally gave up. You may be thinking about upgrading your smartphone or your laptop, and most recently, the ones that we've done, we've traded in our old devices because Apple seems to be giving pretty reasonable rates on sending the old technology back, and otherwise it's just going to sit around here and do nothing. 31% of U.S. adults are still holding on to old tech devices because they're not sure what to do with them. 37% of Americans trade in or exchange their old devices, while 25% sell them. And 29% use a recycling service to dispose of old tech, while 19% toss old devices in the trash. They're components. Some of the mining that we're doing around the world to mine some of the components that are going into the chips and the microprocessors, et cetera. There are small elements of those there are parts, there's repurposing of the old technology. So you can, you've probably dealt with whoever your carrier is, they've probably offered you an incentive to do a trade-in. But if you don't want to go that far, major office supply stores, your Staples, your Office Depots or so, they'd have a recycling service. Best Buy does as well. In a lot of cases, they'll give you store credit if you'll bring those old devices in. So gaming consoles that are set aside, that they got upgraded. I got upgraded to the latest Xbox or whatever.
See, that's something that I don't think
in.
I'd get rid of.
Yeah, I'm
Those are more
actually
nostalgia
looking for-
pieces.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for a Game Boy, like
a Game Boy Advance.
No, an original.
Oh,
yeah.
I had one of those.
So did I.
I got for Christmas in.
Yeah, I don't know if I have.
Christmas of '89, probably.
I have gained my Game Boy Advance from my parents, or if it's still in their basement somewhere. But I had some good memories on that.
Miss Buckles, you may have to help with this one because Sam and I might not be qualified. A bride was trolled by strangers who called her trashy after she wore a black bra with her cream wedding dress on her big day. You can see her on your screen at the wedding ceremony. Her name is, her last name is Basak. She's 33. She opted for a bustier maxi dress with Gucci leather pumps during a ceremony in front of 15 guests on March 29 in London. So this is across the pond. The newlyweds were excited to share photos and videos from their big day, but she says she received a backlash for her choice of dress. She decided to wear a gown with the straps and tops of the cups of the bra visible over the neckline as she felt it was chic. She opted for strangers were quick to comment, dubbing her outfit tacky, trashy, and disgusting. It says it left her feeling bullied. So, good look, bad look.
I mean,
you would discourage this, wouldn't you?
not for a stranger, I wouldn't, but I would discourage a friend or a child or, I mean, it's not for me, but it's what she chose.
Right.
Why do people care?
Right.
It's her wedding.
It's her wedding.
If that's what she wants, then if she's
now-
happy, then who the heck cares?
Now, do I think it looks nice? I don't.
I first thought that perhaps she had a dress and it was a spur of the moment and she didn't have the proper undergarments, and she said, we're going to the Justice of the Peace, or we're going to the town hall and we're going to get married, and it's just up to us. It's our day, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of fine and okay. And but then when it says, well, they had 15 guests at the ceremony, it was a little more planned out than that. So I guess I'm...
Well, and I wondered too, I mean, is this a custom that we don't know about? Is this some kind of trend that we don't? I don't know. But it's
Probably not.
Well, I mean, it's her day, and I'm with Sam. Like, who cares?
I would make a different fashion choice. Most of the
would
people
too.
I know would make a different fashion choice, but it's up to her. And no reason to be bullied.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure how. She clearly got some friends or some people who appear to be friends if she shared her content, and then she got negative feedback from it. Gen Z are the most distracted drivers. They are more likely than other generations to eat while driving, drive when they are tired, have a heated argument with someone in the car, and drive with their pet in their lap. That's according to a digital insurance company who has done the survey.
The only time that Gert is in my lap in the vehicle is when we go through the drive-through at Midway Pharmacy.
Oh yeah, because she's gonna get treated.
Because they love her. Yeah, well, I'm sure they love all, but
Well, I think they just love ours just a little bit more.
maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
surely.
they got to see her the day she was adopted. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did you know? Bonus. Did you know today? Did you know that the Mr. Potato Head was the first toy advertised on TV?
I think I did. I think I've heard that before.
It was in 1952, and back then it didn't come with the potato. The plastic features and accessories featured super sharp points so they could be inserted into a real potato.
Huh.
They sent you the eyes, the hat, the nose, the lips, and the legs.
That's pretty
and
funny.
you just found your own potato, and then what would you do? You're in the express lane at the supermarket, and someone in front of you has more than 10 items. What do? 76% would just wait patiently. 18% would make irritating noises or irritated noises. 4% would complain to the cashier. 1% said they'd tell someone with more than 10 items to get out of the express line. Sam, what are you going to do? I know what Sam's going to do.
Well, see if you can say what am I going to do?
You're just going to ignore it and go on.
I'm just going to go to self-checkout.
That's right. But this could be the self-checkout. Do they have self-checkout express lanes? So
I mean,
you could do 10 items or less?
The way I consider it is like the self-checkouts, at the Evil Empire, you've got ones that have, like, to put your groceries on, like when you're bagging them, half of them are double the size. So I classify the ones that are half size. That's your express lane. That's the one if you're getting, a couple of items because you only have so much room to put your bags. If you're doing the entire run, then you got to double it up because you can kind of stack the bags up that way. So
Yeah,
there's not
that's
maybe a
hilarious.
direct express line, but the part about the self-checkout is if you don't know how to use a self-checkout, don't go through the self-checkout.
I had someone direct me the other day to the self-checkout because they were busy doing something else. Said the self-checkout's right over there. So I said, okay. Knocked myself out. Took care of it. Walked out the door. Guess what? They forgot to take the anti-theft stuff off the item. So they're chasing me down and saying, hey, we got to get those off there. And I said, you gave me bad advice, didn't you? They're like, oh, well, I forgot they were on there. I'm like, okay. So it wasn't faster for me to do that because I had to come back. Which one am I doing, Sam?
Are you going to make the noises?
Yeah, I'm going to make the huff and puff. I'm going to... Oh, brother. I don't know if I will do that, but that's what I want to do. I mean, that would be my natural reaction. Like, who can't count? That's 11. That's not 10.
Right.
Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Today's Did You Know? The legitimate Did You Know? Coming up here on In the Know.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people. Without destroying your credit, they can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 30 to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works. Call 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services, Inc., 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 1492, Oregon DM 80092. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action, not a loan company.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Living on the lake is a luxury. Lake homeowners have been supplementing their properties with the best quality rock, stone, and asphalt products from Scotty's Contracting and Stone for years. Scotty's Quarry has been serving our lake customers with cleaner, underground mined, pure limestone for driveways, landscaping, and construction projects. Our crushed stone products can also be used to assist in erosion control near waterways. If you live on the lake, contact Scotty's Contracting and Stone for an estimate on high-quality products and service at 270-259-5696.
And here's Clark with the weather. How's it looking for our weekend boaters out there, Clark?
Well, Stacy, we can expect periods of heavy rain across the viewing area. That means all the trash, lawn chemicals, and other hazardous waste on the ground go down the storm drains and into our rivers, lakes, and streams.
Gross.
Gross is right, Stacy. Now here's Dave with sports.
Do your part to keep our new Kentucky home clean. Make sure only stormwater goes down storm drains. Brought to you by Team Kentucky and the Kentucky Transportation.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. Today is the first of 3 straight alert days each afternoon. Now through Thursday could feature strong to severe storms. For today in particular, the storm risk is at its highest between 3 and 10 p.m. Damaging wind gusts the main issue today as well. Storms remain in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday, of course, and some showers may hang on into Oaks Day. From the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Carson Meredith.
Did you know? People People see better when they are scared. People see better when they are scared. I didn't know that. Guess it makes some sense. Did you know that Martha Stewart says that she's never ordered food delivery? She was on the Kelly Clarkson show, and she was talking about food options when they were shooting their new show in Toronto. And she said every night he found the next best restaurant. We had the best dinners. And she said something about, you're in a cosmopolitan area. They offer all the good stuff, so you have to try it. I tried to go to every great restaurant in Toronto, and they have great restaurants in Toronto. And Kelly Clarkson said, and I go, do they deliver? And it's when Martha said, do you want to know a secret? I have never ordered in.
I don't do it very often at all.
I find that hard to believe.
Really?
I guess. I find it hard to believe.
No, I mean, Sam.
Sam doesn't order in. Yeah, well.
No, my philosophy when it comes to delivery is if I can't go get it, then I don't really need it.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm... But that would include pizza? Like Martha Stewart's never ordered a delivery pizza? That seems odd.
Listen, there's just something about having food delivered.
I don't know who Lily Allen is, but she apparently is a podcast host, but she has apologized to Katy Perry for her mean criticism of Blue Origin spaceflight. She said, I've been thinking about it a lot, and it was completely unnecessary to pile on with her. She said, I do disagree with what they did, but she wasn't the only person that did it. She was possibly the most famous and the one that divides people the most. She said, there was something in me that decided to choose her as the person that should. In any way, I just felt I'm really sorry. She said, I would have been hurt if it had been me and someone in my industry used me and my name. I'm sorry, Katy Perry. So
that's nice.
Big of her to say. Emmylou Harris and John Mellencamp and more will perform at the Grammy Hall of Fame Gala on coming up on May 16th out in California. I guess the Grammys are not long after that. Joe Cocker's family reacted to the late singer's long overdue Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. Says that it was his widow said that she was really surprised, and she voted every day and watched his standing of the vote. Says long overdue were the words of his daughters. Warren Zevon's son reacted to him getting in, said, I had gone back to giving up on it, and now he's in. Warren Zevon had been one of those that was puzzling, why he had been most overlooked over the years for not getting in.
Werewolves of London, do you?
Yeah, he is finally in. And then I ran across this list of famous albums that are turning 50 years of age this year. So, ABBA, their SOS album that has Mamma Mia on it is 50 years old this year. And then Toys in the Attic, the Aerosmith album that had the first time you heard this riff, is 50 years old this year. Then if you know David Bowie, he is his Young Americans album, that Young Americans Fascination and Fame, is 50 years old this year. I thought he was going to sing. Then this album, the Eagles, One of These Nights albums, it had Lion Eyes, Take It to the Limit is on it, and then One of These Nights. It's kind of haunting, kind of spooky. Or like I would say, this song is spooky. Spooky. Then also turning 50 this year, Rhiannon, the album from Fleetwood Mac. It had Landslide on it. It had Say You Love Me on it. 50 years old this year. Kiss's album, Alive, that had Rock and Roll All Night on it, is number one. All right. It's 50 years old. It had Deuce. It had Strutter. Then...
Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorites.
Cashmere. is 50.
Sam.
The album was Physical Graffiti.
Our
Really big smile, Samuel.
our basement growing up had all of the Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd album covers hanging in it from my dad.
That's cool.
And Kashmir was
Willie Nelson.
Aroldis Chapman's run-in song when he was the closer for the Reds.
Redheaded Stranger, the Willie Nelson album, is 50 years old this year. That had Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain.
Can you go back to Led Zeppelin?
I can, or I could do this instead.
Yeah, I'll take Led Zeppelin.
Have a Cigar, Shine on You, Crazy Diamond. The Wish You Were Here album from Pink Floyd is 50.
I'll still go Led
Then
Zeppelin
so
for this.
is
Oh yeah, no, this
A
is
Night at the Opera. It had Love of My Life. It had You're My Best Friend. And, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody is now 50 years old. Then, Still Crazy After All These Years. Paul Simon, number one. It's 50. It had 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And it's now 50 years old. Had My Little Town. Art Garfunkel was on that one. And then also turning 50 years of age in 2025. 10th Avenue Freeze Out was on this album. Thunder Road was on the album. Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen is the name of the album.
The boss.
Got to get to a break. We'll come back. We'll be pondering and we'll have chart toppers coming up here on In the Know.
At night we ride the mansions of glory and suicide machines.
What kind of legacy would you like to leave for your children? If you've never answered that question for yourself, I want to encourage you to do so. Your influence as a parent will ripple through your children's lives long after you're gone. A profound example of that is a man named Nick Kinnon. His twin girls, Rose and Sophia, were born in 2019, and every year they receive a birthday card from him. That alone isn't so unusual, except Nick passed away from cancer in 2020 when Rose and Sophia were only 17 months old. Knowing he was dying, Nick spent the final days of his life writing enough birthday cards that his girls will receive one every year until their 30th birthday. Such a beautiful gesture, a dad expressing his love to his children in a way that outlives him. That is what building a legacy for your family is all about. And it's something every parent can do. Handwritten letters, videos, and audio recordings are wonderfully meaningful, but there's something even more valuable that you can share with your children: lasting values. Everything you teach your kids today about honesty, character, and integrity will benefit them far into their futures. The only question for you to answer is, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? To help your family thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
Now look at you walking in here looking all pretty and angry and mean and good. I know you didn't get your hair done, so you can just sit down and just sit still.
Hey, we trying to have a good time tonight. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. It's my birthday.
MB's Point to Ponder.
But I still look good.
What word do you always misspell?
I just want an autograph. You and your friends.
I have a really hard time with the receipt.
Okay. I have a really hard time with separate.
Okay.
I don't know if it's 2 A's and 2 B's, 3 E's, 1 A. Like, I always have to double check myself when I'm operating without a safety net. You know, these days,
Right.
usually you got the old red line that goes,
Exactly.
hey, you didn't do that one very well. Or it's suggesting it ahead of time, so that's nice. Sam, you have one that jams you up?
I'm trying to think. I've been like spelling is a strength of mine.
Yeah.
Not one is coming immediately. There has to be something. It would be one of those that, like, if I'm typing later and it pops up, I'm going to be able to tell you, oh, yes, that's the word. But right now, off the top of my head, I can't think of it.
Yeah, I had a hard time too. There were some of those when I go, oh, that one is ongoing is hard for me. Spelling is a strength of mine too, and which then surprises me when I get to these words and I go, why do you have a problem with this word?
Yeah, I know. Right. Mm.
Well, I mean,
And so
Oh,
the
go
I
on.
before E except after C, you know, because that was ingrained. But then there's so many exceptions to that. I think that's why I get.
It's deceitful.
It is.
Well, I mean,
It really is.
do you know what the longest word in the English dictionary is? It's smiles, because there's a mile between the two S's.
Oh.
There's one for Alea later, if she hadn't heard that one before.
Okay.
Today's highlighted history. This date in 1992, a jury in Simi Valley, California, acquitted 4 L.A. police officers that were involved in the Rodney King deal. What time's coverage tonight, roughly, Sam?
About
for
5:15. We'll have 90 seconds with Napier again, weather permitting. With a day like today, you never really know. But I think we probably will play. So about 5:15 will be coverage. We'll have lineups, pregame, 90 seconds with Napier, and everything that you need.
Willie Nelson is 92 today. There's some debate on whether his birthday is the 29th or the 30th. His birth certificate says something different than what he believed to be true. So he's 92 today or tomorrow, whichever you choose to observe. Tommy James is 78 today. Jerry Seinfeld is 71. That seems odd. That seems hard for me. Hard for me to believe Jerry Seinfeld is 71. Daniel Day-Lewis is 68. Michelle Pfeiffer is 67. Carney Wilson, 57. Andre Agassi is 55. Uma Thurman is also double nickels today. And Kentuckian and golfer Justin Thomas is 32. Gone but not forgotten, William Randolph Hearst in 1863. Duke Ellington in 1899. Hirohito, which is Japan's longest-serving reigning emperor, was born in 1901. Justin Thomas won the RBC the week after the Masters on Easter weekend, so congratulations to him. Let's go to chart toppers. 1959, The Possum, #1. Some call him No Show.
And he'd pass it around. Mighty, mighty pleasing, Pappy's corn squeezing. White lightning.
I predict we will hear another George Jones song coming up on Friday. Something about the race being on. I always thought the phonic sensation of this song was interesting. The way it's separated, the piano's in the left channel, the vocals are in the right channel.
We played this one in band. This was a pep band song and marching band song.
Yeah, she freed up her left ear because of the piano. I always like the yeah. It always sound like chickens barking in this song. It sound like the Muppets. Who turned the Muppets loose in Lady Madonna? 1977.
Couple of Eagles today.
In 2 years, that will be 50 years old. In 1986, the late Robert Palmer, #1, with Addicted to Love. This song was always fun to play on the air. It's pretty new when I started. All right, let's move forward. I think you might know this one.
This is how we do it.
1995, Montel Jordan.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
All right, I think you may also know this song.
Peace up, A-Town down.
21 years ago.
Good night.
Usher, Ludacris, and Lil Jon. Well, yeah.
That makes sense. 21 years ago.
21 years. Let's go
A
to
lifetime.
12 years ago today. Pink and Nate Roos from Fun with Just Give Me a Reason. She went on a tear right through those years. I mean, she went on, she like solidified superstardom right there. She's never better than in that era of her career. 3 years ago today, after breaking free from One Direction, Harry Styles was going all the directions with As It Was. Bunch of music on the show today. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, a cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. A cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. Now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield. The Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.